Okay, I think I got my phone fixed, so we're going to try this video again. This palm tree over here in the corner that we have, this little mulch area, it didn't do anything. When Jason first planted it, it was when we first bought the house before we moved down here, and the thing would not grow. And then all of a sudden we planted all the other plants with it, and then it just all of a sudden took off. We have over here on the table a yard-long bean. We planted this in a pot first because we wanted to wait and see what was going to happen with it, and we also wanted to make sure that we knew whether it was going to be, weeds or if it was going to be the actual plant, so we would know the difference. So I'm sure that we will eventually plant it in the ground. Maybe after it gets a little bit bigger. Then I have my blueberry plant over here, which has 2 blueberries on it already. On the container, it says that you're supposed to cross-pollinate it with another blueberry plant, but we haven't done that. I don't know, maybe the blueberries won't taste that good. I'm not really sure. And we'll probably, once we see what happens, see if we get any more blueberries off of it, I'm sure that we'll plant it in the ground, but we just wanted to wait and see if we did actually need to have another blueberry plant with it or not. So if you come over here, these are our areca palms on this side of the yard. We've got these planted on the other side as well. Jason we just planted these ones recently. Jason planted the other ones when we first bought the house. And so as you'll be able to see, they're a lot bigger than these ones over here, but this is the size that they actually started out as when we first bought them. Got our tangerine tree here. This is a nice little place for birds. I think it's because it's so dense. They like to usually build their nests in here. So we have some birds that hang out in here and they just go crazy chirping. Then we've got, you can see it's quite full of tangerines. Tangerines are okay tasting. We don't do anything with this tree, like fertilize it or water it. So if we did that, they probably would taste a lot better, but we're okay with it. We have another areca palm back here. And as you can see behind it, there's a bush. So that bush and the tangerine tree were here when we moved in. The fence panel that's behind the bush was not here. We did that ourselves. The rest of the fence paneling was here. We found at a car wash near our house 3 of the fence panels just leaning up against the dumpster, so we took them. And it saved us a lot of money in finishing the fence. The other 2 panels are on the other side of the shed. There's our mango tree. Hopefully we'll get some more mangoes off of it this year because they were really, really good last year. Over here, as you can see, next to the hibiscus, there's kind of an open space in this garden. Over here, this guy called a snail seed. He was originally there, but he started to get a little bit out of control and was kind of crowding the patio. So we transplanted him over here, and when we first transplanted him, he did not do good. I think it was just in shock, and we had to cut all this dead stuff off of him. But as you can see now, he's got some green leaves on him, so I think he is coming back. So we'll just have to see what happens with him. So if we go on the other side of the shed, we have this dead tree. This was also here when we moved in. We left, Jason cut a bunch of dead stuff off of it, but we did leave it up for the bird feeder, so we'd have some place to put it. Over here, we have our compost area, and hopefully we'll get some good vegetables from composting. We just finished up this area with the mulch and all that this past weekend. The fence panels, if you can see that little tiny fence panel that's there, these are the other 2 that we put in, and then we still had some space in between that and the shed, so we put up this little plastic piece that Jason bought. He put that up there. We have our avocado tree over here, and I'm not sure if he's doing good or not. We had to cut the top off of him right there because it was all dead. That happened around the time that we had the hurricane/tropical storm that was here. It really just did not look good after that. But then if you look down at the bottom, you have all these little shoots that started growing off of it. And then I think that, if you look right here, I think that's new growth on the end there. So I'm not really sure if he's doing good or if he's not. We did get 2 avocados off of it last year, but we didn't eat them because they never grew enough. They never grew big enough for us to pick them and eat them. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. Over here are the other Areca palms that we have on this side. Obviously these are a lot bigger. They started out smaller like the other ones, but Jason planted them when we first bought the house. So they've obviously had more time to grow. These guys actually get pretty big. If you look over at the neighbor's house, you can see the ones that are touching the power lines. Those are Areca palms, so they will get that big. They don't trim theirs or do anything to them, so that's why they're so big and they're touching the power lines. We also have power lines above ours, so we'll probably trim them and keep them so they're not, rubbing into them like the neighbor lets his. Over here, this grapefruit tree, he was here when we first moved in as well. The grapefruit, I tasted one last year. They don't really taste like anything. As you can see, the tree looks like it's half dead. I don't even know what makes any grapefruits at all grow on it. But it's alive enough to make grapefruits, apparently. We have a little bird's nest over here that was left over from last year. Haven't seen anybody in it this year. And then this is the other corner of the yard. We have a little, what's called an elephant ear palm. We had a little space left over, so we just threw that guy in there. And then, so the two dead trees, the tangerine tree and that one bush in the back corner, those are the only things that were here when we first moved in. We planted everything else. Then you have this guy over here. He looks good on this side, but then if you go over here, you can see you got all these little spindly dead stick branch things hanging out. So I don't know. I don't know why this side doesn't really grow, but that side does. And then if you look at the bottom, you can see you got a bunch of little growths out of the bottom too. So I'm not really sure what this guy is doing, but we will just wait and see, I guess. So that's basically it. We are done with the backyard. Just got to wait for everything to grow. Basically just wanted to enclose it and get a little more privacy, back here. So that's pretty much all for now. Just wanted to give you an update on what we've been doing and give you a little tour of our backyard. So, okay, talk to you later. Bye.